Mehmed II, conqueror of Istanbul, the capital of the world. Could you think of Mehmed II while planting vegetables in his garden? In this video, we will consider Mehmed II, who has hobbies in many other fields, not only planting vegetables, but also with his little known characteristics. Unknown information about Mehmed II. His respect for science and scholars. Mehmed II, who was educated by the important scholars, believed in the superiority of science. He even reformed the sultan's outfits because of his respect for the scholars and wore the headdresses which were worn by the scholars. His characteristics show his interest in science when Asian diplomat Zülfü introduces Mehmed II as intelligent, low-smiley, hardworking, generous, stubborn for his purposes, absolutely reading books every day, reading to Pope's life, Roman history, the history of Herodot, and many more, researcher and a unique person. And also Mehmed II is known as the conqueror of Istanbul. At this conquest, Ottoman used the recent technology of its time. Cartography. Cartography, a little-known hobby of Mehmed II, is one of his favorites. Cartographers were competing to get him like their maps. He translated the famous Geographica book of Ptolemy. In addition, he ordered a world map from the best cartographers of his time. Music. Mehmed II, who is known for its proximity to master musicians, had a great interest in music. The two music books he made written for himself, which are placed in the Topkapı Palace Museum now, are another proof. Poet. Mehmed II, one of the sultans who grew up with the science of poetry since childhood, is the first Ottoman Padishah who became famous for his poetry. Mehmed II, who usually hanged out with poets, not only listened to poems but also read poems. He provided 30 famous poets of his time with salary and gave gifts to the poets. His relationships with the poets didn't stay within the Ottoman borders though. He sent 1,000 gold money per year to a famous poet in India. He sent money to Maulana Jami, the Sultan of Eastern poems in Herat city in Afghanistan as well, and even called him to Istanbul. Mehmed II, whose nickname is Avni, has a small diwan, although he doesn't have a diwan. Gardening. Another favorite hobby of Mehmed II, who spent most of his free time in his garden, was gardening. Enjoying gardening, Mehmed II was keen on growing tree vegetables and flowers. In this respect, he had been the reason for the gardens that would show up in the Ottoman palaces. Foreign language. Although there are various opinions, the languages Mehmed II could speak besides Turkish were Arabic, Persian, Greek, Latin, Romaic, Slavic. Sports. Wrestle. Wrestling, which is another field of Mehmed II's interest, has also been influenced by his work. The Wrestler Tekke club he built for wrestling is an example of this. Archery. Another sport hobby of Mehmed II, which he made essential improvements in and connected it to serious rules, is archery. Mehmed II had established several facilities for archery. Okçular Meydanı is an important example of this. Chess. In addition to archery and wrestling, Mehmed II was also a professional chess player. Thanks for watching. For more, subscribe and like. Stay on track.